Okay, good morning, good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Just want to make sure that it's all working well. If you can hear me okay, see me all right, put it into the chat, let me know. Hey Erwin, how are you doing? I think it should be working good. Everything should be working well. We'll give it a couple of moments before we get started, so just hang on tight. Thanks for that, Erwin. Okay, cool. It's all working good. 2 more minutes and we shall get started. 2 more minutes. Alrighty, all streaming good, all streaming nice, and it's working well. Alright. Hey Pips Apprentice, how are you doing? I'm just mumbling to myself for a little bit. And while you're on the session, for anyone who's watching, remember to help me out, click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. I know most of you are very good with that. Just a quick reminder for that. And if you're new to the session, do drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. Love to find out. Alrighty. Hey Drew Marinas, how you doing? Hey Diana, good morning. And for all the regulars, a big welcome back. Thanks for joining me on the session. Hey Daily Gaming, good to see you, good morning. Alrighty, so let's get started. Again, a big welcome back to all the regulars and to all the newcomers. A big welcome. Thank you for joining me on this daily market analysis, where we'll be looking at the markets, possible news coming up. Not much today, but possible news coming up. Technical levels, where price is, where price could head towards, and some possible trade setups. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. Any particular pairs they'd like me to look at, put it into the chat and let me know as well. Diana, yes, I know we'll do the Swiss yen as well. That's becoming a regular. Okay. If you can, again, reminder is to help me out. Click that like and subscribe button on whichever platform you are joining us on. Can we start with pound CAD? No, unfortunately, no daily gaming. We can't start with pound CAD. We will do the fundamentals. We'll look at the news first. We'll look at the dollar index. Then we'll go through the list. I need to look at pound first. Then I'll look at the CAD. Then after that, we'll get a complete picture to look at the pound CAD. So any special requests I will take on, but that will come at the end after we look at the major currency pairs. All right. So hope you can stay tuned for that. Hey Alexander, good morning. How are you doing? Now with that, a quick disclaimer: any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, and your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Alright. Erwin says dollar index pushing up by a lot. Any reason? No big reason. It's not pushing up by a lot. It pushed up by a lot. It came back down again, sitting there pretty much where we were from yesterday. No major reasons, and not, okay, as much as I say it pushed up by a lot, it pushed up, it didn't push up by a lot. Right? It pushed up and then it came back down again. I think what would be better is I just show you the chart. So this is the dollar index that we were just talking about and we spoke about yesterday as well. It was consolidating there. I was saying that if it does break down, then we'll see that downward move. It did not do that. Take that away. Retraced up, tested that resistance and then pushed down. Did not go all the way, came back down to this 103.37 level right now, or for this morning, pushing back up from 103.37 up to 103.57. So it looks like, if you zoom right in, it looks like it moved by a great deal, but it's really just pushing back up a little bit again towards that resistance level again. Okay, so in terms of the dollar index, there was no major news since the last time we spoke, and even on the schedule there wasn't a lot of news released or data to be released. So if you look at the headlines as well, there were no major news releases. Right, all through to last night, we had Treasury estimating that it's not going to move, or that didn't move it too much. Yeah, faces demand from Republicans to strike Iran after the troops attack on the troops. No major news. Apart from that, no major news that I would have attributed towards this move on the dollar. I would say that it's just a technical play, right? So it's bounced up, consolidated, pushed up, failed to break that resistance and came back down again. Now, with that said about yesterday, I did have a Kiwi trade and a Euro trade that made money from yesterday. Not much else. Okay, everything else was just sitting right there, not doing too much. Daily Gaming said, "I'll wait, no problem." Hey, Angel Case, how are you doing? Hope you're well. Good morning, Christina. AL is asking for the pound yen. I will do that. We always have time. I always have time for you guys, because if I go more than 1 hour, nothing happens. I'll just keep going on. So I'll always have time for you guys. Unless the market moves a lot and I want to jump out of the stream and start trading, then that's another story. But always have time for you guys. Good morning, Goju, how you doing? Hey, Priyana, how you doing? Good morning. Thank you, AL, I appreciate that. All right, so with what has happened now, this morning we had the Aussie retail sales number month to month was 2%, revised slightly down to 1.6. Expected minus 1.9, came out at minus 2.7%. So retail sales in Australia month to month not doing too well. However, if you look at this at 9 a.m. right there, did not have a major impact on the dollar, on the Aussie dollar, 8.30. So it's 9 o'clock candle, 8 to 9 o'clock candle. That's the 8 o'clock candle, pushed up, and then 9 o'clock came back down, still set within this range. So despite a minus 2.7% on retail sales, did not move the Aussie dollar too much. It's still highly dependent on rather the direction or the volatility on the Aussie dollar, still highly dependent on the dollar index. In fact, for all the currency pairs, what I'm seeing right now, it's very dependent on the dollar index. Okay, even more so than usual, it seems. At 4 o'clock, at the end of this session today, we do have the Spanish CPI, the Spanish GDP. At 5 o'clock, we have the German GDP, the Italian GDP. Although they are important, typically important economic data releases, CPI and GDP are one of the key numbers that I look at. Because it is a Spanish, a German, and Italian, I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, I'm not too concerned about it. It's just components of the Eurozone or from the Eurozone. So I don't think these numbers are going to change too much in terms of the direction or the current direction of the euro. At 5:30, we have the pound with the M4 money supply, mortgage approvals, net lending to individuals. Again, I don't think this will be moving prices too much in any particular direction. Flash GDP quarter on quarter likely to stay at minus 0.1%. So right now we're seeing on the euro a bit of that downside or continuation of that downside. I think most likely we're going to see that continue. And then through that, not much else until at 11 p.m. GMT plus 8. So late in the night for me, nice in the evening for you guys. The JOLTS jobs openings for the US, hang on a second, was 8.79 million, expected 8.73 million. You see that from all the previous months, the JOLTS, what it means is JOLTS is the job openings and labor turnover, JOLTS survey, all right? It shows you the number of job openings during the reported month, excluding the farming industry. Sometimes we can, not always, but sometimes we can use this as a bit of an indication. Right, the release on this number could be indicative of the non-farm payrolls or the non-farm employment change numbers to be released on Friday. So watch out for that in terms of the JOLTS jobs openings, but not expecting a big change here. 8.79, 8.73. Most likely, I think that we're going to see still remaining about that 8.7. For just thinking, hang on a second. I'm thinking it's going to stay about the same. I was going to try and figure out what kind of numbers I'll be thinking of. I was thinking of, but it looks like it might come out as expected at 8.72, maybe. It'll be a black number. With that, we might see some strength on the dollar continue to come back into play, especially if it breaks above that immediate resistance level they have right now. Okay, and that's late into the night. On to tomorrow, before we catch up on our daily market analysis again, we do have the Aussie with the CPI year on year, 4.3 to 3.7% expected. It might actually be a bit lower than that, right? Because of retail sales number being so weak, demand looks like it's dropping. Looks like it's a drop or slowdown in demand in terms of retail. With that slowdown in retail, it might lead to that CPI number being a bit lower. So 3.7, maybe even a 3.5. I would not rule that out. Maybe even lower than 3.5. It has been dropping quite significantly, quite sustained drop. Is it for the month of Jan? Yes, it is. It's where is it? Released monthly for about 25 days after the month ends. All right, so it's about for the month of Jan. So I'm thinking 3.5, yeah, about 3.5, where we might see the Aussie dollar weaken back, right? Because if we see inflation growth slow down, that is going to lead to the RBA deciding that, hey, maybe we don't have to go too aggressive on our rate hike. Obviously, they're not thinking of rate hikes anymore, but they might start thinking maybe we could start thinking of a rate cut scenario earlier than expected. Right? Again, I'll scroll forward and show you that next Tuesday, we do have the RBA with their interest rate decision currently at 4.35%. Not expecting it to change, but we're going to pay attention to the rate statement. This is for Wednesday or Tuesday next week, right? But these are the components, the retail sales number and the CPI number that's going to lead to that interest rate decision from the RBA next week. So I'm looking at a 3.5 possibly, and then maybe some further weakness on the Aussie dollar to come back into play. Then Chinese manufacturing PMI, not too concerned. And then everything else, I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Okay, so with that, looking at some dollar strength potential later on tonight, and then looking at some Aussie weakness early tomorrow morning. With that, I keep saying with that. Now, looking at the dollar index, today is the 30th of Jan. Where has time gone? All right, 30th of Jan, dollar index, it tested and bounced back down. Take that away. I'm going to remove some of these circles. I have too many scribbles here. So just bear with me. All right, we drew this from yesterday, identifying the levels, identifying that resistance level and that interim support level with the key support level down here at 102.67. Now, if that pushes up, if the dollar index continues to push up, what you would also see is that push or that support to the upside, right? Pushing up. The important thing here is what happens, what could happen to the dollar index in that range. Right, this level was on the 24th of Jan last week. This was from last night. This support here was from 18th of Jan. So we found this whole thing as a resistance area, right? Resistance area. It does need to break above this point before we can see more upside potential. Okay, we do need to see that break before we can see more upside potential. I'm actually thinking that this is what I'm thinking. It's thinking aloud. I'm thinking that it could do that and then that again. I don't think it'll be an immediate break today because there's no major news. Right? Apart from the JOLTS jobs openings later tonight, there are no major news that could push the dollar index from 103.80 up towards 104.26 or 104.30. So yes, it looks like it could break up, but I think that it could test, bounce back down, and push up again. That's what I'll be watching out for. Now, I want to do this as well because Daily Gaming said dollar index testing the area between 61 and 50. All right, there we go. So it came down, tested 61, bounced off, pushed up. That's fair. I'm happy with that. Okay. So for the dollar index, what I'm looking out for, what I want to see is it's likely first move, it could test, move higher to test resistance. I can't type resistance of 103.80. Above. Okay, we'll move, look for reaction. No, let's do that. Sorry, look for reaction as it moves at resistance. No, wait, sorry, I'm just being a bit undecided. Move higher to test resistance 103, look for reaction at resistance. There we go. Okay. Good morning, Jamil. How are you doing? Be careful, we're at the end of the month. We are at the end of the month. There is possibly some profit taking, but it's been ranging it's been quite a wide range, or quite a range, so might not have that significant profit taking move. I'm watching that. This move here tested 50. See, so why it's retracing back down a little bit now? It's from this small move down. It's testing that 50 pip retracement level. So it's tested, came back down. I still think that it's going to sit there or push back down a little bit before pushing up. So I want to see it test. And that's why I'd say I want to see it move higher to test resistance at 103.80. But I'm going to look for a reaction along that resistance. Okay. Okay, I'm happy with that. Then onto the Kiwi. Very straightforward. We were looking for this to push up. I got into that, gave me a bit of a heart attack. Not really, but I was paying attention as it shot down. I was thinking, oh, it's coming close to my stop loss at 15, and then it sat there and pushed right up. I just left it because I made it on the euro, so I left that to run. And then it pushed up. I got in quite early, about that point there. Right after the session, it pushed up. Right, so got in, thought I was going to hit my stop loss, made money in the euros. I just held on to that. This morning, for those of you on Discord, I was posting that it shot up, hit my take profit, 30 pips. I think I had it slightly lower, so 30 pips. I was out and happy. Okay, so anyone got onto the Kiwi dollar as well, do put it into the chat and let me know. Take that away now as it's pushing up. And look at this, pay attention to this, where we were seeing yesterday at, there we go, at about midnight, my time, midnight GMT plus 8, we saw the dollar weaken back, right? We saw the dollar weaken back, and that's why we saw there at that point pushing up. But that drop on the Kiwi was quite small compared to that move up on the dollar index. So that was something that I was like, it looks like it was supporting that move. So as much as the dollar index was pushing up, we did not see the Kiwi push down too much, and that's why I thought looks like there's still upside potential on the Kiwi dollar. Held on to the trade, and this morning it pushed higher. Right now, dollar index pushing back down. Maybe it might even do that. I know I'm drawing a lot of lines, but it might do that as well. Okay, but generally looking for more upside on the dollar. Now, if that breaks above, you would naturally look for that move. So the easy setup would be 0.6150. Take profit about 35 pips. Stop loss can be very tight at 15. All right, breaking above 38.2 towards 61.8. We would have that move, and that's on the dollar weakness scenario. Right? If it does come down and break below this point, then we're going to see it push up. Jamil said, I took 2 trades on pound, one sell 40 and buy 43. Very nice. Sold it down for 40, bought it back up for 40. Fantastic. Near your TP, very nice. Daily Gaming said, I made a mistake on Kiwi. I saw it so close to stop loss. I was in a bad mood. So I closed. Well, sometimes that happens. Don't give up, Daily Gaming. Okay, so I'm looking at this. What was I saying? It's pushing back up. Okay. So we know we have that move, that potential move on the Kiwi. If it breaks above 38.2 previous high and push up. But look at what happened here the last time round. where it tested this level, failed to break above and pushed down. Okay, so this is the trend following scenario, the short-term trend following scenario. The alternative view is that you could also be looking at selling down 6135, stop loss 15 as well. Take profit could go back down here to 40 pips. Okay, that one is done. We take that one away. It broke above. There we have it. We have two options here on the Kiwi dollar. Breaking up, we get an upward move, reversing from there, similar to what happened on 24th of January. We can see it turn back down again. Okay, so which one do I like more? I'll put that 2 down and then we'll filter it out to see which one we like more later on. Okay, let's just put that in for now. 6150, 15 to 35. 6150, stop loss 15, take profit 35. And then we could or we could look to sell at 6135, 15 to 40. 0.6135, stop loss 15, take profit 40 to the downside. Okay. And then towards the end, as we look on the other pairs, I'll kind of figure out which ones or which option, which setup I would like better. Jamil says, I think break this level. Yeah, depends on what happens here, because if that gains that strength, then we're going to see that reversal. So I want to see what happens as it develops. Okay, there we have it. Social scientists, you asked that yesterday, how much time it takes to become a profitable trader. I think everyone was responding, and from the same answer from yesterday, it really depends. It depends all on you. If you are doing the same thing, or if you're not doing anything at all, then it will take forever. If you're doing the same thing, the same mistakes, it's going to take forever. If you're learning, you're adjusting, you're improving, then it's going to be a lot faster. All right. Okay. Aussie dollar. Take that away. So that did not trigger. Take that away. It's testing this level, which we know we have. We have this trend line here, which we know we have as well. Again, reminder is that we might see that dollar strength come back into play, but we do have, especially with this CPI number to be had tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Very early for you guys, but just nice for me. Thinking that it could push back down, right? It's staying within that range. It's staying within that range. It could push back down. Is it ready to short on the Aussie dollar yet? I don't think so. I don't think it's ready to short right now because I'll take this one away. Because to me, it's still sitting in a bit of a consolidation there, right? Still sitting in that range there. What needs to happen for me to sell it down is it needs to close below 0.6605. I would love to say 0.66, but that might be a little bit far away. In fact, let's test that. Yeah, you could do that. 0.66, 20 pip stop. You have about a 30 pip take back down here. If it breaks this trend line, if it breaks this interim support level, then you have a big move. You could have a big move to the downside. Okay, let me see this. So that's 50 there. That's 61. No, okay, I'm happy with that. See, so with this level here, all the way up to this point here, We've seen that it tested 50 and bounced, tested 50 and bounced again and bounced. Now at this point, if it pushes down, you would have your 30 pips there as a first target, and then it could move lower. Dollar index is sitting right there. Kiwi, we can look to buy it up. I would say maybe a bit 6605. Stop loss 15, take profit 35 to the downside. Does that work? Yes. Can we buy it up? I wouldn't. Alternatively, I'll look for this to push up, test, and then sell it back down. But I'll keep that one first. 6605, 15 to 35. Looking to sell 0.6605. Stop loss 15, take profit 35. There we go. There we go. All right. Then on to the US yen pushing down. I did not get into this as much as it's pushing lower. It's odd. Scrolling through the first three charts, and looking at the dollar index sitting right there, not doing too much. It did push down a little bit, but sitting right there. And we're anticipating some strength coming back into play. It's a bit odd to see the US yen still pushing to the downside. All right, it's a bit odd to see it still pushing to the downside. That's my resistance there. Pushing down, breaking this level. There are a couple of levels, for example, that point there that needs to break before we're going to see more downside. Take that one away for now. And I'm thinking that if we sold this down, 147, not a lot of move there. It's a 50. You keep it very tight at 20. You got a 55, almost 60, 55 to 20 to 55. I don't like this level. Yeah, I don't like this level in the sense that I don't think even breaking this, we're going to see it test support because there is another level right there. Okay, so because of that, yeah, it's not a good RRTP close to liquidity level. I actually think that what might or could happen is either it sits there and then it pushes back up, or it pushes down and then pushes back up. So I'm not super keen on the yen at this point. Looking at this, I would say that the best case is to look for a bounce. Yeah. To look for a bounce off this level, but even if you try to buy it off this, we do have this point, but it's been broken so many times here, so I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, now let me look at that. 61, it's right at 61 now. Testing, bounce back up. I would actually, in this case, be looking for a bounce, which we could be looking at 147.45. Stop loss would be about 30 pips. Take profit could go all the way up to about 90 pips to the upside. Checking that again. we have this point. That's fair. Yep. I would, even to be safer, 147.50. Stop loss in this case now, because of that level there, I would say that we could even be looking at 25 pip stop and a 80 pip take profit to the upside. Okay, so we're looking for that. It might break lower, but we're looking for that bounce back up again. So with that, then onto the yen, we're looking to buy at 147.50, stop loss, and 25, take profit 80. 25, take profit 80, back up. Okay, there we go. Jamil's happy with that. Good. Diana's probably happy with that as well. Fantastic. Okay. Now, I'll put that to the side a bit. Okay, there we go. On to the pound dollar. I was so keen. I saw that drop. I saw that bounce. I thought, great. This morning I was thinking, yes, if it pushed up a little bit more, could get into that, but it didn't. It turned back down. Okay. So that trend line was a support. Now that trend line is acting as a resistance. We can take that one away and take that away as well. Okay, so now on the pound dollar, anticipating that dollar strength could lead to the pound dollar pushing down. 61.8 is there. Needs to break lower. The slightly more aggressive mode, if I were in a more aggressive mode, I would say 1.2674, 1.2675. Take profit would be down to 60 pips. Stop loss would be at best 40 something, but you could even do a 20 pip stop, right? Because I would be looking at that point being broken and then I would sell it down. But we do have 61.8 right there as well. But if you did that, then it would be a very small trade. So this is where you would be taking a little bit of risk. Right? This is where you'll be taking a bit of risk. Jamil says check 5-minute chart. You see a pattern. It's bouncing back up a little bit. She's actually what I was going to say. Is that on the H1 time frame, what I would like to see. Okay, that's fair. Is for this move. Okay, there we have it. It came down, tested 23. I actually want to see it retest that trend line. So something like that. I want to see it retest that trend line and push back down. All right, so take those away, take that away. I want to see it push back up like that, back down again. So with that, then I'll be looking to sell. And even if I don't end up getting to this, that's fine. That's a setup that we're looking for. Below 1.27, stop loss 20 pips. Take profit, you got a 40 pip move to the downside. But we're looking for a bit of a bounce. You can get in earlier if you're happy to sustain the possible fluctuation. But I'll be looking for maybe that move back again. Okay, so 1.27. Where am I? There we go. 1.27, stop loss 20, take profit 40 to the downside. You could, so if you did get in there, then you'd be about 1:1 to the downside. I might want to see a bit of a bounce for that move. Your entry points are 1.2704. Yeah, that's right up there as it broke that trend line. Perfect entry. Nice one. I love it. Okay. All right. So you have the aggressive entry, which is where you would get in maybe at the close of this candle, right? In 20 minutes, close of this candle, you'd have a stop loss about 15 pips, maybe. A take profit would be at about 30 pips. You still have 1:2, or we'll look for the possible bounce, retrace bounce, rejection to the downside again. Then with that, looking at the US yen, again pushing back down, dollar index, oops, still sitting there. We're looking for that test. Okay. US yen looking like it's going to push down a bit before turning back up. Pound dollar still looking for that downside. Pound yen pushing down. Look at that. We spoke about this on Friday. Was going to test and push back up. It pushed up a lot higher, but it's pushing back down right now. Okay, so take those away. We're still on for that downward move on the pound yen being dragged down by the pound dollar. Too late to get in right now, right? Too late to get in right now. Needs to break below 186.70. Break below 186.70 towards 185 or 186. So I would be looking for 186.60, stop loss tight, 25 pips max, take profit 60 pips to the downside. Who asked for the pound yen? Someone asked for pound yen. AL asked for the pound yen. So that's the idea, that's the view on the pound yen. Possibly further downside, dragged down by the pound dollar. Okay. If this bounces, we're still going to see the pound dollar push down, possibly going to lead to that downward move. Not ready yet on the pound yen, so you do have a bit of time, a bit of waiting to do first. You're most welcome. Diana says pound yen can retrace on the fair value gap. Yes, this whole thing here. So it could push back up. I don't know. The thing is, I don't know how much it could push back up by. All right, so we've got 50 here. It could come down. So what we think is it could come down, test, bounce back up, and then do that. I'm just not sure how much it could bounce back up. So it just needs to break below 186.60 first. Then onto the euro. So this is what I did on the euro last night. Broke down, right? It came down as we had planned, broke that level 1.0835, traded it down. It again bounced at that point where I thought, oh, doesn't look great when it bounced, but then it formed a pin bar, so it pushed lower and then continued down right till it got outside of the Bollinger. I did not close out at 37. I closed out at about 35 as it broke out. Right, broke out. Then I was looking at it. Crap. Hang on, losing my voice. All right. It broke out outside the Bollinger. Not good sign. Closed out as it pushes back up again, and then it retraced all the way back up. So that was a 35 pip move on the euro. Anyone else caught the euro? Let me know. Let me know. It pushed up, tested that level, that 61, nope, not that one, take that away, that's done, take that away. Now with that move, it came back up to 50, look at that, exactly on point. From this top down to the bottom, retrace back up to 50 and then push back down again. Daily Gaming is asking, do you think it's retracing before continuing down? If you're asking, Jimmy bought up for 30 pips. Very nice move. Nice move. Euro is ready for second entry. Yes, I'm thinking that. I think it's retrace. It's pushed down. What we want to see is again another small retrace before pushing lower again. Okay, so I want to see continue that retrace a little bit more before breaking lower again. Good job, Drew Marinas, on 30 pips. Almost like we had the same trade. Fantastic. 1.0814. Yeah, I want to see that break. I would go even 1.0813. Stop loss 15. Take profit 30 to the downside. Right, so I want to see it retrace, reject, turn back down, and I'll sell it down. So 1.18. I think if it retraces, you can do 1.1815. 15 to 30, still 30 as well. Okay. Euro. Let me see. Okay, sell 1.0815. Stop loss 15. Take profit 30 to the downside. You realize that if you scroll through, or for all the regulars, if you've been watching since last year, we used to have a bit bigger take profit levels. Recently it's been down to like that 35, 40 levels, just because the markets are very choppy right now. It hasn't formed that trend that we can really take advantage of. So that's why we're seeing smaller take profit levels or nearer take profit levels at this time. Diana's asking, would you enter on breakout? Breakout of which point? Breakout to the downside? Yes, you could. The way it looks like, I mean, we've got 15 minutes to go. It could really be anything, but it does look like it's going to retrace before pushing down. If it does straight away turn from here, push back down, yes, I could be looking to sell down as well. But I think more likely we're going to see it push up and then down. I think what Diana's asking is if it breaks down from here immediately. Yes, I would also, if I were watching, then yes, I would also aim to catch that move. But it looks like that's going to happen. Fingers crossed. Then on to the US Swiss franc. Pushing down, we'll maintain that view, still heading lower. You know what? Looking at, it's really a mix. It's really a mix because Kiwi, we're looking at that pushing up, maybe pushing higher. That's kind of telling you we might see some dollar weakness coming around. Aussie dollar sitting at that point, if it pushes down, maybe the dollar strength. US yen, look at it, tested lower, looking at it's going to bounce, dollar strength scenario. Pound dollar pushing lower, again, that dollar strength scenario. Euro dollar strength, but US Swiss franc, if it does break down, it's going to signal possible dollar weakness scenario. So we're going to have a bit of a mix. We're going to have a bit of a mix scenarios or possibilities. Either dollar strength or dollar weakness scenarios, we do have some setups that we can take advantage of. Okay, so I would maintain this one 8605, 15 to 45. 8605, 15 to 45 on the US Swiss franc. Diana's asking if it breaks the resistance level and continue to head down, breaking that level. Let me go back to the euro. If it breaks the resistance level, we'll head down. We're heading down to breaking that level. Yeah. If it breaks, yeah. So I'm thinking that heading down to breaking the level. Yeah. So okay. I think what you're asking, if it goes back up and tests this point. I think you're talking about that resistance level. I would still be looking to sell down on reversal. I think the main thing is that if it pushes up wherever it gets to this point, reverse, I'll be looking to sell down, gets to this point, sell down. If it comes back into this region, then I'll be a bit more concerned because it's back within that range. I'll be looking for that resistance level there. Okay. Erwin said same on Euro. Fantastic. Anything can happen. Well, it's the market. It is the market. Anything can happen. It's our best guess scenarios. Okay, now with that said, US yen testing a bit lower. We're still looking for that to push up. US Swiss franc at that key level here could push down. If it does push up, it's got a couple of levels to break before we can see any big move. Then onto the Swiss yen. Look at that, it played out so nicely. Tested higher as we expected, pushed right back down as we expected. I'm pretty sure Diana's got that trade. That would be a good 40 pip move to the downside. So Diana, let me know if you got onto that Swiss yen. Now at this point, what's possibly going to happen? I think that US Swiss franc, as much as we think it could break lower, it might sit there for a while. It might sit in this range for a little while the US yen looks like it's trying to push a bit lower. With that, onto the Swiss yen, looks like it might even, I mean, generally I'm looking for a downward move, okay, but it looks like it might even bounce and turn back down again. Okay, so nothing in here, nothing to do at this point on the Swiss yen. The two things or the two setups that I'll be looking for will be a test and reject of the resistance, 171.40, stop loss tight at 20 pips, take profit down 60 pips, right? Or it could do, take that away, or it could do that. Then I'll still look for that break. Ding dong. Ding dong. Someone's here. Someone's really eager to come in. 170.60, 170.70. Stop loss 30. Take profit 80 to the downside. So we have that two scenarios there available on the Swiss yen. Diana just said overall it is an uptrend. Yes, agree, but I'm also watching out for those, that being a historic high level, maybe looking for that rejection back down again. Okay, so Swiss yen looking for a test and reject or a break to the downside. You're most welcome there, Jamil. Then onto the USCAD, pushing down, did not trigger, or came very close, I would say, but would not have triggered that trade. More downside expected. See, that's again signaling some dollar weakness scenarios. No CAD news. Pushing lower. Breaking that 61. I would maintain that at below 1.34, 20 to 50 to the downside. It might sit there and bounce back up before heading lower again. So 1.34, 20 to 50 to the downside. There we have it. Okay, so we're covering, we look at the dollar pushing down. You can't rule out the possibility that it could break that trend. A bit slim, I think. I might jinx it, but it's a bit slim that it will break that level and hit lower. Possibility, but I think it might just test and then bounce back up again. So, okay, we have that. Then, who was it? Just trying to catch a name. Yep, Daily Gaming was asking about pound CAD. So again, pound possibly heading to the downside. CAD also possibly heading to the downside. I don't have pound CAD here. So on the pound CAD, pushing lower. We've got big levels there, take that away for now. We've got a major support here that is trying to break. Check these levels out. Very significant levels. Let's see, we got 50 there, so it's right at 50. Trying to break below. Okay. So my next support would be, I would look at that as a possible support, which would mean that if it breaks past this point, then you'll be looking at below 1.7, stop loss 30, take profit. It could be a good 90, 95 pips to the downside there on the pound CAD. Okay, so looking for that continuation to the downside. Not something we look at regularly, but pound dollar dragging lower could lead to that pulling down as well. Okay, so I'll be happy with that. Swiss yen, Diana says I'll change bias to downtrend only if it's higher time frame, significant change up. Yes, I think that on the Swiss yen, it's not ready for a downtrend yet. So long as it stays above this point, so long as it stays above 169.90, it's not a downtrend yet. We're just within this range trying to figure, it's just within this range trying to figure out the next move. So we can just trade this rather wide range. Okay. It has a really good trade today. Yep, I saw that. Okay, Aussie dollar, quick review of Aussie dollar. It's still sitting there, hasn't done anything. So I'll still maintain the same view of the Aussie. Then onto gold. Look at that, breaking up. Same thing that we said yesterday, needs to break above 2040 to trade up to 2055. It tested, so this was yesterday, it went up, almost got into that resistance area, pushed back down. Now looking at pushing up. I'll keep that view. Above 2040 could get to 2055. Again, this is ringing the bell for possible dollar weakness scenarios. I'll be watching that. Might even be changing the bias on this if it does break that trend line. Okay, so gold, I would just simplify that to, if it breaks above 2040, could trade up to 2055. Pound is retesting now, good push up. Yeah, look at that. We wanted to test and reject. Alrighty, so a lot of setups here in both the stronger dollar index scenarios and also in the weaker dollar index scenarios. We have possibilities and trade setups. So again, the link is going to be there for you guys. Do join us on Discord if you haven't already, and please trade well, trade safe. I will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Take care now. Bye-bye.